Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got a very old friend of mine. This is the Hobby Boss A-10 Thunderbolt 2, but they've reboxed it now, as in instead of being the A version with the paved penny on the front and the older stuff on there, we've now got an updated version of the C. So what they've actually done, to be honest, is just throw in another sprue. But here's a bit of a spoiler alert here. What I love about this actual kit is it's still only 36 quid. That's 36 Great British pounds. For technically a very nice, fully recessed and everything you could ever want modern kit of an A10. And to be honest with you, and I know the purists out there will be saying, oh, the Tamiya one and the monogram one's got more accurate shape. As far as I'm concerned, this is still the best A10C or A10A on the market, purely because you get all the niceties which we'll look at in a moment. So compared to some of the other ones which have got raised panel lines. Now, at the time of doing this one, which is mid-October 2022, this is still the only one that's out there, you know, but very shortly after this, I do know we've got two other manufacturers releasing kits, and we'll be looking at those ones as well to see it stacks up against this old legendary kit. Now, I've actually built the A version of this probably 10, 15 years ago now. Absolutely loved it. And I've built pretty much every other A10 in every other scale, right the way up to the 32nd monster that we did. So anyway, let's have a look and reminisce about this classic kit that's been reborn. So there we go. Lovely little bit of box art. It's, you know, a real photo of the actual A10C. If I remember rightly, the original just had the A, but it's the same font of the writing on the top. So yeah, pretty much old school. Another really nice touch with this new boxing is obviously we've got some very nice markings as well. So as you can see, we've got 4 options down in there. Very, very colourful ones as well. And again, an A10 in black. Very nice as well. So loads of decal sheets, as we can see. We've got this one down here. Kit number is 81769. And some of the weapons that you've actually got on here. And again, some of the big things, we've got the sniper pod now, whereas before we just had the standard lantern. Now we get the sniper as well. So again, some nice little touches with that one. So in the box, we are greeted by, get my lid off, there we go, something pretty darn nice. So we got a bit of a blurb sheet all about it and some upcoming kits as well, as we might expect. We've got some clear parts. We've got a little bubble pack bag with the canopies and things in it. We've got some more sensors, and we've got rubber wheels, and we've got some string there, which I do believe is for the chocks, which we'll look at in a moment. We've got this one here, which again is a little bit of extra, and that's because this has got the glass front end for a sniper pod. So there's that one. So down in here, as you can see, we've got bag with a fuselage in. We've got the wings. We've got the lower wings. We've got the engines and the cells and all the rest of it like that. We've got weaponry, which looks just like the original one, as far as I can tell. I don't think that's been changed at all. This has. So I think these are the 2 bits which are going to be your upgraded bit that are going to take you from an A to a C. So again, very nice down in there. So we can look at that. We'll see also if we can still make an A out of this, which will be interesting. We've got something else in there, which is hidden. We've got the tub and the seat in one, which we'll look at. And we got the fuel tank, the tub, the various bits and pieces on the underside. There we go. And then down in here, we've got decals in a bag, and we've got the instructions and colour callouts, which are very nice indeed. So we'll look at those in a moment. So start off with the old instructions. We've got down in here. So again, it's showing its age a little bit, but stay with it because actually this isn't bad at all. So there's a few little differences. Obviously, the big one is going to be the instrument panel that you fit into the front. The A only has one little screen in there, obviously the MFD, but the actual C version has 2. So it's slightly different. Also, it's got a different throttle and stick in there, actually borrowed from an F15E and an F16. So yes, very nice down in there. And then we've got the tub system. It's going to go in and put all the seat. The seat, as you can see, is almost a one piece, which is quite a nice touch. And you're making up really the titanium tub, which it sits in. Down below is a real highlight of this kit, and this is because you get the entire GAW8 gun system, and you don't have to put it in either. There's a little trick to this. So if you don't want to put it in, you can have it displayed externally. So anyway, if you are going to put it in there, that's all that going together. All right. Down in here, we got the wings. So you can do the actual speed brakes on the outside, which are also the ailerons as being open or closed. We've got the flaps as well, which are deployable. So you can put them in whichever position you want. We've got the gear system being fitted into that one. And again, as we know, it's hubbed because we've got rubber tires that go on to this one as well. And we've got the various pylons being fitted down into there. Exactly the same on the other side. And on the other one, so we've got the gear doors being fitted onto this one. And then down in here, this is where we're going to get some little tiny changes. So it's only a few lumps and bumps externally, but you are going to remove a couple of these little things out of here so you can make way for the sort of more modern electronics as they're going to go on the top, all right? So anyway, you've got the rear canopy actuator which goes on. So the tub goes in, you pop your gun in if you are putting the gun in, and all those things go down in there. And then we've got the nose wheel. And again, down in here is where it's a little bit off because it's talking about putting the pave penny sight on. You don't have that anymore because the A-10C doesn't carry the pave penny system. So that one doesn't have that anymore because it's replaced now with the lantern or obviously the sniper pods. All right, so not worried about those anymore. So check your aerials and your things. So I'm just for the first time seeing this, I'm wondering if it's all in here. Looks like they are. So we've got the various parts and sensors being put on the tails and the various areas. It's a little bit of a thing. We'll look at it in a moment. The intakes are a little bit off on these, but to be honest, I don't think you notice. Those ones are going in, wings go in, tail system goes on, and then the engine drops in the top. Down in here. At the front here, again, we've actually got the refueling probe area goes on the front. So if you have forgotten to put your nose weight in, that's how you can put your nose weight in as well. So we get those down in there. And then obviously you've got the access boarding ladder going in, the hug glass, things like that. And then we've got some chocks. So that's what the string was for that we saw a minute ago. And again, the engines drop down and away you go. So obviously we've got straightforward things with Mavericks. You've got some clusters down there, Mark 20s. You got what we got down in here, GBU10s, the smaller one, and we've got some looks like Mark 82s, so those. And then down on here is the other bit as well. So down in this one, we've actually got the new sniper pod or the original lantern. Again, it can carry both, so it just depends on what you want to do. Weapons loadout call just like that. So that's pretty nice. Marking options. Okay, so we've got marking option 1, which actually looks really nice. So that's in your standard sort of grey. So you've got your light and dark ghost greys on there just like that. We've got your various ones for the lantern, GBU10, sidewinders, GBU8s. Don't think you use those anymore. It's a bit old school, but anyway. And then down here, some other very nice ones as well. So we've got the anniversary markings with the D-Day set in there as well. It looks very, very nice indeed. And a couple of other nice ones as well. So we've got this one down in here, which is obviously in the sort of old school markings as well. And again, the really nice one as well with the snake and obviously in the black scheme. So again, something really, really nice about that one as well. So some nice options down in there. The decals, usually very, very nice. Let's have a quick sneaky peek in here. So again, very nice, colourful decals right the way through. So we've got the decals looking very nice indeed. Good, clean ones as well. Let's face it, the snake one's going to look absolutely mega. It's going to be very, very nice. And then down in here, we've got the anniversary D-Day markings as well. So they're very, very nice indeed. Again, you're probably going to paint these on, but if you did want to decal them, you've got the option down in there. And then this one over here, to be honest, is just all the weaponry insignias and that, which is pretty standard to all of these. All right, so if we go back in time now, because we did this review probably when this kit first came out, which I've got a feeling must be near 15 years ago now. So very nice indeed. So sprue 1, we've got it. So again, what's really nice with this, it's all recessed. There's no real raised, and down the back here, technically it should be raised detail, but it does look very nice, let's face it. So as you can see, we have got some very nice recessed details right the way through. Again, you're going to want to fill these holes. It doesn't mention it in instructions, but obviously it doesn't have pave penny, or you could just put bolts in them because that's exactly what they have. So depending if you want to just fill or pop a bolt in there, you can see really nice details. We've got the tail planes back here, again, fully recessed riveted. We've got all the lumps and bumps down in here as well. So you've got the GPS and the aerials. So that's nice. We've got the other tails. And again, we've got the boarding ladder area down there in the back. And again, it's actually not showing its age at all. The mould looks all pretty clean and crisp. Got some nice details just down in here in the nose well and the system, because you will be able to see down in there. Obviously, you won't see the other side because it's offset to one side. But again, very nice indeed. Then we got the wings. course, you got your wing set just down in here, which actually all looks very nice. It's a bit like coming back to an old car you used to own. I've got very fond memories of this kit. So again, you can see if we drop it down this way, nice recessed details right the way through. We've got the control surfaces. Down in here's a nice touch with this kit. You actually get the refueling door, so it's on the front of one of the gear areas, and you can have it open as well if you want to display it open. So that's nice. And again, we've got the other one down in there. These are the chaff and flare buckets. Obviously the A-10's got them down here by the gear, but also on the wingtip area as well on the underside. That's very nice. Right, where are we going? I think we're just going to grab and go at random here. So down in here we got some of the detail bits. So we've actually got the gear. This is that paved penny system that we're not going to be using, things like that. But we have got the gun areas and the bits and pieces. We've got a long range fuel tank down in here as well. So yeah, that's that paved penny one at the top. We've got the landing gear, which if I remember rightly, didn't they borrow that? And it's actually the same gear that's actually on the F-117. That's how they hid it. Chocks, if you're wondering what those are. So the ammo feeds, things like that. We've got that titanium bath, which you don't see any of it at all, but hey, you know it's down there. The detail on the underside, and this is what we're saying about the undercarriage is offset to one side. So obviously it makes room for the gun coming down the middle. So that's quite nice. Here's the original instrument panel with that single MFD at the top there. The old analog system. So as you say, it's completely updated. There's your wheel hubs, bits and pieces, generally all looking very, very nice indeed. To be honest, the mould looks like it's really nice. It's obviously held up very, very well. We don't have any ejector pins on the inside of wheel wells or anything else like that, so that's quite nice. Got some nice details down in here as well for that wheel well bay. Generally, very nice indeed. So, yeah. Right, okay, so let's go into lower wings and things. Okay, so then down in here and then here. Not too flat off, don't need that. There we go. So underside of the wings, got a little bit more texture on the underside, and I don't know why. I must admit, it was funny because the underside's more textured than anywhere else, and I'm not ever sure why they did that, but hey ho. All right, but you can see it's got very nice details. If we go this way again, you can see down in there, very nice indeed. You've got the rack as well for the sidewinders. Over here we've got tail planes, big old actuators. We've got all those pylons down in there as well, as you can see. Very nice. And we've got the tops of the wings. And then these guys here, which actually if we flip them over, this is the detail that you'll see if you've got the speed brakes open. So if they're doing that sort of bit, that's what you're going to see in there. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. But generally, good, solid, all the way round on this one. It's really nice as well that the pylons are square. It's the actual locating tab, so you're not going to have any warp or movement in those at all. That's all looking very nice indeed. Obviously, another massive feature of the A-10 is the huge old engines on the back, which actually are the same engines that are used on the Viking, weirdly. But yeah, very, very nice. Now, I know a lot of people will say about this bit is wrong, and there is aftermarket ones that can replace this because the fan blades are just a little bit, they're not quite right. They're not seating correctly in here and things. Again, I'm thinking it's picky. I wouldn't know the difference, but apparently nobody's quite got it right yet. But you do get some nice touches for this because, again, you get the full engine. So if you wanted to, you can open up the doors, as you can see here, to show off this engine. You can paint them up and detail things like that. You got part of the gun as well, so that's half and half, so they'll glue together as those go through. So you've got some very nice touches. And again, what we were saying about, spoiler alert, good little touch to this, you get two barrels. So what you can do is not put one in the entire gun in the aircraft. You can just do it as a separate, and then you can just pop the barrel in. So you've got both of them. So it's nice you get two guns. It doesn't mention about it, but that's how I've always done it with this particular kit. Another nice touch is you've got all the plumbing for the brakes. So you've got all the hydraulic lines as well, and the brake lines running down in here for the main gear. There's those blades, which I don't think look too bad at all, but I know the purists out there frown upon it. Again, we've got those engine covers. And again, the nice details down the back. And again, this isn't a perfect kit by a long way, but it does need a little bit of fettling just to make sure this all goes together. Another thing as well, you do get huge ejector pins down in here, so if you're doing engine covers, you want to sand that out, perhaps add a little bit of detail down in there. But you can see from the back, those blades are hollow, so you can actually see through them. There is gaps between all of those blades, which is a nice touch with this kit as well. All right, so a couple of little tips in there for you. Down in here, imagine we've got weapons, or I'm hoping it's weapons. Them out. There we go. And again, it's always been a bit of a feature with Hobby Boss, beautifully done and protected. Because let's face it, we talk about some manufacturers don't, these ones do. And again, really, really nice. Classic weapon load. This is exactly what was in the first one. It's a mirror, so you've got two exactly the same down in here. So again, very, very nice. So run through, you've got your Mark 20s, your cluster bombs, in other words, things like that. You've got all your sway braces down here. You've got the multiple ejector rack as well. Very nice as well. You want to fit it with that. We've got your GBU 10s just down in here. And then you've got your Mark 82 sort of slick bombs as well. I think that's GBU 8, which is the old classic. A bit old school now, but hey ho. Bit more up to date, just down in here, we do have Mavericks. So there should be another match pair, I think. Yeah, another match pair. So you get lots of jammers with this. So you've got jammers for your spares box. All right. But what you do get is obviously we've got the racks for the Maverick. It doesn't really carry 3 on each. It normally does 2 because we don't want the blast effect in the gear, main gear. That's why they do it on that one. But again, you've got the long and the short jammer pods as well. We've got a little AIM-9, is that a Mike or a Lima? Down in there as well, so that's all very nice. And again, very nice detail. Got nice recesses on the weaponry. They're cleanly molded, sharp, things like that. Another little highlight with this kit is the detail in the cockpit, especially when you think of its age. So it was a little bit cutting edge, and that's purely because down in here, as you'll see, we get one-piece molded seat. You just pop the back on. It's got the harnesses molded into it as well. All right, you might want to do a little bit of cushioning on the seat, but you can see down the back here. Now, if you want to be purist, as we were saying, it looks like they haven't done anything with the stick and the throttle, because again, the actual, I've got one upstairs actually, weirdly enough. The actual stick is off an F16 nowadays because it's got more switches and that for more of a HOTAS type feel. So's the actual throttle as well. But again, you're not really going to see it in this scale. Nice little touch though. It's got beautiful raised details in the tub. So again, very, very nice. But you could easily backdate this kit to the A. So if you want to do the old classic A, perhaps in the old camos as well, then you've definitely got that option. I said before, we've got the thread and we've got some tyres. There's no point getting those out. They're very nice as well. They are got the grooves in. We've got the Seekers for the Mavericks, just down in there. Then we've actually got the bit of glass down here for the HUD and a couple of little lights, things like that as well. So they're on there, so that's all good. And then last up, just down in here, if we get in without cutting the canopy, there we go. We got a little bag with the clear parts. Now, again, big thing, this isn't a center seam, it's supposed to have it. This is an aerial that runs up the canopy. It's why it doesn't go all the way up. But I have seen people try and sand that out. Not good, you want to leave that. Again, front glass, utterly clear, beautifully done. Look, hardly any distortions. Very, very nice indeed. So yeah, good kit. Can you tell I'm a fan? I tell you what, this is one of those first kits I ever built in the sort of, early 2000s. And it was one of those where it was like a real breath of fresh air. It was a lovely kit. Having been a fan of this aircraft since a small child, to actually have a really nice kit of this, because let's face it, going back, you had the monogram one, you had the Tamiya one, nice, still not brilliant kits. Great shape, not brilliant to go together. Even the Tamiya one's a bit iffy. All right. Then you had Italeri came out with one, and it is recessed. But the front end of it is just horrible. It's just the wrong shape. So I used to end up sanding it and trying to make it good and all the rest of it. And then, thank God, Hobby Boss released their one and this one came along. And it was absolute joy. And as I say, I've actually built probably 5 of these over the years as well. So I do know them very, very well. They're not perfect. They don't drop together. They need a little bit of work. But certainly, if you just take your time with it, test fitting, you'll be absolutely fine. So for this kit to come along now as the C with the upgraded version, then yeah, that's actually made my day. But what really made my day was, said before, This kit, if by any other manufacturer with a re-release, and let's face it, it's just a new sprue, 2 new sprues and some decals, they're probably going to be charging you 50, 60, 70 pounds for it. Hobby Boss have kept it the same price as the original one at 36 pounds. And let's face it, I think you all agree, where now can you buy a 48 scale kit of this quality and caliber and the amount of parts you've seen in this for literally under £40 these days? It's a rarity to have a new tool or a new updated kit come in at that price. Let's face it, most manufacturers now, you're looking at 50, 60, 70, 80, £100 if you're looking at Tamiya and things like that. So yeah, I think it's an absolute gem, and definitely it's for my stash. And to be honest, I bought this one for me. It's going to live very proudly in my stash. I can't wait to see the other ones come along, but they've got a very, very tall order to knock this one off the top slot.